And we're good. We're good. Hey guys, welcome to a live Q&A. This time it's a little different. You always used to Ryan being a part of the Q&A. I brought a celebrity, Sean Chandler.
Hello.
This was months in the making.
Yeah. I thought I was going to sneak him in as a cameo, but no, he's one of the stars of the Q&A. So I'm glad to have you here, Sean. I'm really glad to have you here, and hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well, Ryan, and fight through the pandemic. Maybe one day I'll meet you in person, Ryan.
Yeah, hopefully.
I wonder if you're as tall as I think you are.
I'm over 7 feet.
We have a high Ryan and Jay, but we have no high Sean. So this is
harsh.
That's offensive right there. I'm offended. It's supposed to start. Yes, I know. I'm sorry. Oh, we have Sean in the. Oh, hey, Sean.
What?
Hey.
Oh, yeah, whoa.
That commenter seems like he's very wise.
Yeah, he's
very wise indeed.
There's this intelligence in his face. I can sense it. You're awesome. I don't know who he's saying, but I'm assuming it's Sean. So you're awesome, Sean. Nice. We're all having a good day. Yes. Opinion on ban is back. I have no idea what he's talking about. Anyone know what that means?
I don't know. I thought he said Bane is back. I got scared.
Bane. Bane is back.
I'm back.
I don't know if Tom Hardy would never return. Thank you. No problem, Sean. Where's Lindsay? Lindsay is in the living room right now. She is taking a nap. So she's had a hard day's work. So yeah, she's doing good though. I'm glad you answered. Hello, Simpsons. I'm a Simpsons fan.
Good.
Thoughts on Sinbad movies? Anyone has seen the Sinbad movies?
Which path are we going with this? Sinbad the comedian or Sinbad the swashbuckler?
That's a good point.
That's a good point.
Sinbad, I've seen some Sinbad movies. Jingle All the Way. That's a funny movie in a stupid sort of way.
Jingle All the Way. Yeah.
What's that movie called with Sinbad where he has to protect the president's son or something? I forget what that's called, but I remember that Sinbad movie. But also the Sinbad DreamWorks animated film. I don't
Good Burger. I like Good Burger. I mean, I just looked it up.
Good Burger.
There we go.
He's a Good Burger. He's got a wicked afro in that movie.
Burger.
I got 2 Blu-rays today: Alfred Hitchcock, The Birds, and Gone with the Wind. I actually enjoyed both. Yeah, I like those movies. Those are good movies.
Those are good movies. Yeah.
Hey, Sean. I'm sorry. I just. Okay. Nah, okay.
For me?
Yeah, Sean is not triggered. He's okay. Hey guys, I'm on my way back from seeing Godzilla versus King. Oh, what'd you think of it? I'd love to know your opinions on it. What did you think of it, Sean? Did you like it?
Yeah, I had
King
fun.
Kong.
My wife loves movies about monsters or dinosaurs destroying things and killing people. So this to her was like. She doesn't normally get excited for movies or want to get date nights to go to the movies. She'd rather do something besides watching movies since that's what we do all the time.
Yeah.
But as soon as that trailer dropped, she went like, hey, I've already got a double date lined up, opening night. We got to go to this theater, the best screening. And so then, we watched that one, and that was a fun time in the theater.
Are you Team Kong or Team Godzilla, Sean?
Yeah,
He's Team Kong.
Some marital problems because I'm Team Kong and wife is Team Godzilla. So it's a very tense month there for a bit.
We love monkeys. We love apes. So we got
Kong too, man. Yeah. I know Ryan's Team Kong. Do you have that shirt on, Ryan? Are you wearing it?
I don't. It's out there somewhere. But
how dare you?
And I've got
what are you wearing
too.
Yeah. What are you wearing? A Batman shirt, Ryan?
Yeah, I am Batman.
Oh, okay. All right. There you go.
Yeah, it's a great shirt.
It's a cool life, Jamie. You know what? That's all I need. Just as long as it's cool.
All we needed to hear.
All right, it's McLovin, Casablanca, or Citizen Kane.
Casablanca.
Casablanca. John?
Citizen Kane.
Citizen Kane.
Now I have to say I've never actually seen Casablanca, so that is a hole in my viewing history. So I have to go with Citizen Kane because I've seen it many times, but it's not really a fair comparison.
I love Casablanca. It's one of my favorite films of all time. I gotta go Casablanca. I think it's because of me. Ryan watched it. I like to think so.
I watched Casablanca twice now, once in film class in college, and then again, like during pandemic, because Jay talks about it all the time. So I like it more. I mean, Citizen Kane's fine. I could see why people would think
it's fine. It's fine. Just the most celebrated movie of all time. It's fine.
Right. And I think because of Mank recently, it's just like,
Why do you hate Citizen Kane, Ryan?
I never said I hate it. I mean, it's good.
I'm just screwed with you, Ryan. I'm just screwed with you. I like to think every movie Ryan likes, it's because of me and I recommended it. Let me live in that world. Oh, this is interesting. Sean Chandler, favorite Trump cameo.
Yes.
Are you okay with answering that?
Yeah, Home Alone 2 is that's a nice little touch. You're just watching it, and then aspiring actor Donald Trump shows up and says, "It's down there," and then he became the president. We live in the strangest of timelines.
Did anyone ever watch The Apprentice? I actually watched some of that when
it was on. The Apprentice, yeah. I enjoyed it.
It was okay. It was not bad. I watched Survivor, then I watched The Apprentice right after, and yeah, that was like my schedule when I was like 14.
That was when I was still watching Survivor.
Yeah.
I've never seen an episode of Survivor, Fear Factor, or The Apprentice. No reason. Like, they even seem like interesting concepts to me. Yeah. I've just never watched them. And I don't even know how that's happened.
I fell off track with Survivor like over 13 years ago. I think the last one I watched was Heroes versus Villains, and then I just fell off because it was really good back in the day. Just, I don't know.
I always loved Survivor. Then I stopped watching it. Then my dad brought me back into it, and I just couldn't stop watching it.
I just became a Big Brother fan overall. Yeah. I just stopped watching it.
All right, Ryan, I'll be at the live stream. He's going to be there, man. He's going to be there at your house.
My social media posts. Yes, I will be going live tonight, indeed.
I thought he was going to be at your house, like chilling with you on the couch.
He could possibly be outside my house. Let me check.
What's up? Not much, man. Grade for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm assuming he meets all of us.
There's a whole video on it, Jay.
Yeah, I'm actually doing a video about. I'm going to be comparing WandaVision to Falcon and Winter Soldier, which one I like more. So I won't spoil what I like more. But Falcon and Winter Soldier is a good show. I really enjoyed it. I'd give it like an 8.3 out of 10. It's a really good show.
I really enjoyed it as well. Does it have issues? Yes, I agree. Yeah. The finale wasn't the greatest I hoped for. I wish the Flag Smashers were better developed as characters. But everything they did with Sam and Bucky, I loved. I mean, just how they portrayed the Flag Smashers, that constantly contradicting themselves. Are they really villains? Are they really people with good motivation? It was just really confusing. And John Walker, I love him as a character, but how they ended him, wasn't a fan. But still, I thought it was solid. I would give it a 4 out of 5.
Sean?
Yeah, I'm fascinated by how wildly different people's takes on the show have been. And even within people that loved it, hated, disappointed, the reason why are different. The episodes they loved, hated, all that are totally different.
Yeah.
It's been fascinating to watch just the reactions. Like, after I watched the finale, I got on Twitter, and I'm just seeing, like, masterpiece. Worst episode of television ever. Total disappointment. Wow, that was awesome. I couldn't follow along with all of it. So as for me, it was one of my most anticipated of the MCU shows, and for the most part, it let me down after we got once we got to episode 3, my expectations got dramatically lowered as to what they were doing with the show versus what I was expecting versus how well it delivered on what it was trying to do. But I still enjoyed it. Like, I had fun with it. So I think some people have taken I've had a lot of criticisms of the show, and therefore they've taken it. Oh, I didn't like the show. No, I did. I mean, I don't know, maybe B minus, B, somewhere in that ballpark. It's tough to pinpoint. Maybe need to give it a little bit more time, but it's somewhere in that ballpark. It was like I had fun with it. It just wasn't nearly as good as I thought it could have been. There was some significant things that were lacking for me. In particular, they were so interested in making the Flag Smashers sympathetic that they forgot to have them do bad things. Mm-hmm. And so if they'd had them at the end of the first episode blow up a building with people in it, and then in episode 2 they say, we're going to blow up more buildings if you don't, and we're going to do it 2 days from now. Just even doing that, reordering what they did and announcing what they were going to do sooner to give a ticking clock that you believed in, I think even that could have bumped it up for me to, to a B and B plus range. But I think it just really delivered on some things, while still I enjoyed the individual moments, character arcs, action scenes.
Yeah, I remember watching the finale, and my buddy was like, "That was an amazing." I was like, "Yeah, it was an okay finale." Yeah, he was like, "What are you talking about? It was amazing." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
That happens all the time. We're like, was it really amazing? I mean,
I'm like, okay, I wasn't blown away by that finale, but he's like, "What are you talking about?"
I mean, I feel the same way with WandaVision. I mean, I loved all the previous episodes, but the finale wasn't the best I hoped for. I mean, it's got great messages in it, and I'll definitely rewatch it, but I felt like it would have been better overall as a Sam Wilson-led movie. And we're getting a Captain America 4 now in the works. This is where I felt like the episodic release every week kind of hurt it overall. Yeah. Like WandaVision, that's perfect that it was released week to week. We could have those great conversations about it. But this one, I think it kind of hurt it just a little more, just because how much was in the actual show. Just, it didn't work overall, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah. So are you guys watching the Oscars tonight?
Yes. Once I finish this live stream, we're going with the kids to the dollar store to buy candy and stuff to set up our viewing party. It's where I try and get them to watch the Oscars, but instead I'm sure they'll pick up the Switch or play with the Switch or something. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah. They'll watch the first 5 minutes like, okay, what else? Like,
what next?
Best Back to the Future. It's got to be the first one. Like, it's got to be the first one, right? Like,
yeah.
Like, it's got to be the first one.
Pretty obviously. Yeah.
Ben is Back is a movie. Oh, thank you for clarifying. I have never heard of it.
Ben is Back, yeah.
Sean Chandler, have you seen any of the Ice Age movies?
No. Not one.
Okay.
Sometimes people are shocked by when I haven't seen like these family movies that came out in the zeros, but like I was like a long-haired kid watching very violent movies. That's what and I was in screaming bands. I wasn't going to go see Ice Age. Like that just wasn't what I was doing in my 20s. And so now I have kids. I'm going back and watching a lot of the things like DreamWorks and stuff that I missed, but it just wasn't my childhood because it was literally the phase where I would be least likely to watch that stuff.
Yeah. I just remember like the first one and hating all of them after.
I get the same reaction from the Shrek franchise. People are you going to do a Shrek ranking at some point? I've only seen the first two. I haven't seen the other. Why have you haven't seen the other two? They're really. I just didn't catch up with it like other people.
You seen Shrek the Halls?
No.
Yeah, I got that one a bunch too. How have you not seen the Shrek movies? Like these are classics of my childhood. Right, your childhood. I'm 15 years old. And he's like, that's why. That's the difference. That's the gap. Like
exactly.
They came out when I was like 22. That's just not what I was rushing to go see.
You're the ranking guy.
See, I'm like that with my girlfriend. Just on anything because she hasn't seen a lot of movies in general. So just a simple movie like Titanic. I'm like, oh, you haven't seen Titanic? She's like, no. I'm like, oh, let's watch Titanic. And then I'm like, have you seen Star Wars? She's like, I've never seen a Star Wars movie. Like, well, we're watching some Star Wars.
I try to get Cody to do it, and it doesn't work.
Did she really respond well to them? Because I think that would be, like if she actually enjoys them, that would be a lot of fun. And if she's like, yeah, that was okay. I guess I can see why Star Wars is fine. That to me would be like, oh, let's never watch a movie again.
The funny thing is, actually, that's what kind of happened. Actually, she didn't like the Star Wars original trilogy. She was like, "Ew, that was cute, I guess." I'm like, cute? It's manly. I'm like, and I showed her Indiana Jones, and she loved them. I'm like, you know what? I'm liking this now. Like, just like, okay, now we're getting on track. I'm like, it's so weird to find what kind of things she likes, because I'm like, oh, she loves Back to the Future and Indiana Jones, but doesn't like Star Wars. I'm like, oh okay.
so like I'm doing that. That's kind of the phase of life I'm in with my kids, that they're getting old enough that I can show them things. And like, I'm a pretty bad parent. So for my son's 9th birthday, he wanted to watch Alien. So we watched Alien for his birthday. And because he's been trying to watch it forever. We were supposed to actually watch Aliens tonight, because we played the Colonial Marines video game, which is a terrible game, but it's fun to do it anyway. And so it's fun that he's like getting into this stuff that is some of my favorite movies and franchises of all time. Luckily, because they've added these characters to Fortnite. But I've shown him other things, and he's been like, where are my toys? No, this is one of my favorite movies. Don't say that.
No.
All right. Do you like America, guys? Do we like America? I'm Canadian, so I can't.
You don't like America, Jay. You can't like America.
I can't like America.
Even movies with America in it.
I can't do it.
Is it offensive to Canadians that the United States is called America when we're not any more America than Canada is?
That's a good point. I don't think it's offensive. I think Canadians, the stereotypes kind of like, we're like, oh no, we don't do that. Like, oh, you like put maple syrup on everything? I'm like, well, I may put maple syrup on everything, but I don't know about other Canadians.
Yes, I like America.
Yes. I love America. I live in America, just a different kind of America.
Exactly.
You live like a few inches outside of America, I'm predicting.
Yeah. Underrated, overrated Pixar movie. Ryan, you're first.
I'm gonna get hate. I always do for these opinions.
I know you're gonna say. Go ahead.
Yeah, my most overrated Pixar movie is WALL-E. Like, that's easily my most overrated.
How dare you? How can I leave this stream right now?
Unsubscribe. Thumbs down.
Yeah. Another one is Ratatouille. Don't kill me. I don't hate them. Never once have I said if I hate these movies. And many people commented, why do you hate these movies?
Yeah.
Because when you say overrated, they think hate.
They think you hate them.
Right. Or rankings. Hey, why isn't this in your top 10? Because it's Pixar and they've made 18 great films. It's tough.
It's tough. They made really great movies. I mean,
if something's on the bottom, that means, you must hate that movie. Like, no.
I want to. And I love how Sean says in these ranking videos, from 18 and up, I don't hate these movies. Yeah.
It's still everything.
They don't listen.
So my two, and I put that in there. I started adding it because, I gave Coco a B+, something like that, and my wife loves it. It's her favorite Pixar film, so it's on in my house a lot. And so I just have a couple issues with it, but it's a great film overall. But it's number 13, 14 on my list. Same with Up, another one that they're not in my top 10.
Yeah. And
you would think that I had physically insulted someone's abuela. They went furious with how dare you? It's no, I like the movie. I really enjoyed it, and we watch it all the time. They just have a lot of great movies.
Yeah.
So those would be my two that I feel like the gap between the passion that others have for it and what I have is different. Underrated?
I didn't say my underrated. Yeah.
Underrated? I don't know. I don't really feel necessarily like there's any that fall into that category, because the ones that are at the bottom I think belong there.
Yeah.
But then there's some that are at number 18, or that other people I just don't feel like there's ones that fall into that category, because there's just a few that just are kind of duds, and then everything else is really good.
Well, I think an underrated one for me, I think A Bug's Life. I mean, that one either gets put at the bottom. Many people say it's the black sheep for Pixar, or they don't talk about it as much. I would say I would put it in the category people don't talk about it as much, because everyone talks about Ratatouille, Incredibles, Finding Nemo. I think I've always loved A Bug's Life since I was a kid. I mean, I watched that movie a lot, and I still love it to this day. I think there's a lot that holds up about it, and I feel a lot of people don't talk about that one.
Yeah, I was actually going to say A Bug's Life for overrated because I don't care that much about that movie. I'm not a fan of it. Don't like it that much. Never got invested with that story or those characters. I actually like Ants more. I'm more of an Ants guy than A Bug's Life, but just not a big Bug's Life person. But I don't know, and I don't think Toy Story 4 is a masterpiece, so that means I hate it, I guess.
I agree with that, actually.
Yeah, that means I hate it, I guess. Expectations to Captain America 4, which was announced.
I mean, like I said earlier, I think I wanted a Sam Wilson Captain America movie after watching the entire Falcon and Winter Soldier series. I think the whole series would have worked better as a movie. I really am happy that he's getting his own movie now. I think Sam Wilson is the rightful Captain America, and we're going to see more of Sharon Carter play into the mix, see what happens with her, John Walker in the future, Zemo as well. Yeah, I'm very excited. I think this is the direction they should have went.
I'm kind of nervous because I thought some of the writing was the weak point, and so then bring in the same team, it just makes me nervous. Like on the one hand, it's like, oh, cool, and then at the same time, I'm kind of like, man, I don't think they fully delivered on this one, so it just kind of leaves me pretty nervous. Actually, that was my vibe when I kind of had enough time to process it for about 24 hours. Just kind of a nervousness. I don't think think it'll be bad, but it doesn't excite me specifically that these people are doing Captain America 4.
Yeah, I'm in the. Yeah, I'm kind of like in that middle ground. Like, when I say excited now, but will I see it? And am I curious? Of course, you got my curiosity. Yeah. I just want to see Zemo again because he was my favorite part of the Falcon Winter Soldier show. He was my favorite character, actually. Oh, the dance.
Zemo cut. The Zemo cut, my favorite thing of 2021 so far.
Yeah. The part that made me laugh the most was Zemo smiling at the end. He was like, because he's the one that got what he wanted.
Wonderful. It's coming.
Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th? Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
The movie Nightmare on Elm Street is better than any of the Friday the 13th movies. Okay. I'm a little bit. I think the bad Nightmare on Elm Street movies are way more tedious than the bad Friday the 13th movies. Because Friday the 13th, it's all the same stupid, and even when they get bad, the 4, 5, 6 of Nightmare on Elm Street. That is a weird set of movies that totally forgets what it's about.
Freddy's dead. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no.
When he's the Wizard of Oz witch,
I'm gonna get you, my little pretty, and your little soul too.
Yeah. What's happening?
What the hell is this?
The first one in Dream Warriors are really good.
Yeah. They stop being horror films and start being like comedies almost.
Another video recommend. Every single time somebody says, "Can you rank the Friday the 13th movies?" All right, I have to do it now this Halloween. Like that's a must now.
All right, grade for the 1999 Mummy movie. I think it's good. It's like a 7 out of 10. I think it's enjoyable. I have fun with it. The Brendan Fraser one.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I Mummy Returns is in. The Tomb Raider Empire was just.
Yeah, the first Mummy, I would give it a B. I think it's solid. I enjoy it.
I think Citizen Kane is good. Personally, I don't think it's the best film ever made. I hear that a lot, actually, because it's always called the greatest film of all time. So when it has that pedestal of the greatest film of all time, and someone watches it, like, oh, that's the greatest film of all time. Oh,
exactly.
Okay, so I understand why people would say like, "Oh, that's it," but other people are like, "That was brilliant." But,
yeah, and plus we're in a different time period where we have a lot of comic book movies coming out, and so many people have different standpoints. So,
it's a big difference. It's like, StreamYard annoys me sometimes because I lose my spot very quickly.
Yeah, exactly. The same thing happens.
They need to stop. They need
every live stream.
I lose my spot just by clicking one button. It's like it goes all the way to the bottom. I'm like, what? Who could have been a great Batgirl? could have been a great Batgirl in the Deathstroke movie? Interesting question. Ryan, do you got any picks?
I mean, I saw some people floating around once Mission Impossible Fallout came out that Vanessa Kirby could be a good Catwoman or Batgirl. And now Falcon and Winter Soldier came out. Everyone's saying the lead actress, Flag Smasher, could be a good Batgirl and Matt Reeves' Batman. So I'm not like well versed in the Deathstroke Batgirl yet. Once Matt Reeves' Batman comes out, maybe I can speculate. But I love Vanessa Kirby. I like to see her do more action roles.
Yeah, I'm not much for fan casting on the spot. I normally like to spend some time thinking about it, considering it, and there's just too many things to factor in. Like I know there's very rare occasions where I'm like, this is the perfect person for that role, because it's more complicated than that.
Yeah. I'll go with Shunks. If I say an answer, I'll regret it like 5 minutes later. I'm like, oh, no, shouldn't have said that. I'm like, oh, that was a dumb answer.
Exactly, yeah.
Is SpongeBob getting another spin-off vote patch? I have no idea. Ryan, you're the SpongeBob expert.
Yes, I am the SpongeBob. No, I'm just kidding.
I have no idea.
The recent SpongeBob movie I watched was awful on Paramount Plus. So I'm not well versed into this current SpongeBob now.
I know nothing about SpongeBob, nothing at all about it. I've seen the movies and that's it.
I've seen less than that.
It's like when people some people quote SpongeBob to me. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Ryan, I think you're frozen.
Or he's really good at sitting still. That's impressive.
Yeah. Wow.
And blurring himself.
That's wow. That's method acting right there. Ryan, if you come back, I'm gonna remove you. Just come back. I don't know if you can even hear me. I feel like I'm just talking to nothing. But if you can hear me, Ryan, I don't know why I'm screaming. It sounds like you're in a tube or something. But come back in. I'll let you in. I'm gonna remove you, then come back in.
Bye, Ryan.
Bye, Ryan. All right. Now the real stars are here.
Woo.
Interesting. Who had better chemistry, Sam Wilson and Sebastian Stan, or Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany? What do you think, Sean? Welcome back, buddy.
The power broker got me.
That power broker.
Damn it.
I think I'd go Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany. I think both are great pairings, but I think WandaVision showcased the chemistry more and put them in more interesting scenarios where you can see them in sitcoms. You can see them do angry, fight, romance. You get to see all of those. And I didn't think Falcon and Winter Soldier showcased the bromance as much. So I would go Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany.
I'll agree with you a lot, actually, because I will say this. I was never a Vision fan, but WandaVision kind of made me more of a fan of Vision. So, and this relationship, I was like, I never really bought into the relationship too much, but this show made me care about the relationship and actually made me care about both these characters a lot. So I give WandaVision a lot of credit for that. So definitely I would go with, Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany. So, Ryan?
Yeah, I love both. I think both have great chemistry. Both sets of characters have great chemistry with one another. But I'll go as well with Olsen and Bettany. I really bought them as a couple, and this show in particular. Like you said, Jay, I wasn't a huge Vision fan, except for Age of Ultron. But that show really showcased the relationship. And with Sam and Bucky, Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie, I think they're great together in this show. But I would go with Olsen and Bettany as well.
Ryan, you agree Show Dogs is an easy F?
That's just an easy F, like a flatline F all the way around.
I don't even remember the movie, but I remember Will Arnett in the movie. That's all I remember.
Will Arnett was in it, yes.
Yes. How about this? Overrated and underrated. Go overrated, underrated again. DC movie. I'm assuming all DC movies. Animated ones too, sure.
Underrated, definitely Birds of Prey. I love Birds of Prey. I know you don't, Jay. Yeah, it's understandable why it didn't do well in the box office because, pandemic was kicking in. I really enjoyed Birds of Prey. I think the characters are great, the action's great, and it's had its divisive opinions across the internet, but I really enjoyed it. Overrated DC movie? Come back to me on that one. I need to think.
All right, John?
Overrated.
I don't know. Those are always tough questions because underrated, overrated is a matter of perspective. Mm-hmm. And so depending on who you're talking to, you could say that Superman 1 and 2 are either one of these terms. Because if you grew up with the movies, you might overrate them. If you didn't grow up with them, you're like, oh, these old dated movies, like I would never watch these. They're cheesy and they're corny, but have no sense of the history and the importance of the films. And so you underrate them. So I'm not having any that immediately come to mind that I feel like they distinctly fall into that category. I just think that there's such a vast history that a lot of nostalgia plays into some of these movies. Superman, Batman '89, and then inherently the movies of the DCEU or Snyder movies are just polarizing by nature. So you could call them both under and overrated depending on who you're talking to. Because at least Batman v Superman's a masterpiece. Batman v Superman's the worst superhero movie of all time. You'll find crazy people saying everything.
Yeah.
So I'm not coming up with one for either when it comes to DC movies. That
was a great, intelligent answer, Sean. Yes. So let me tell you about. Let me shit on Man of Steel now.
Oh my god! Because I'm gonna leave if you do that.
No, I wouldn't do that. But I would say Man of Steel now is a bit overrated. When it came out, it's got this weird thing, Man of Steel, because a lot of people love it now. When it came out, everyone's like, then now it's like, oh, it's amazing. I'm like, I wouldn't go that far. And I think it's still a little overrated. Underrated, I guess Tim Burton's Batman Returns for the young people, because I know a lot of people don't love it, and I love it, but that's just for me, though. Yeah. Scream 1996, Halloween 1978. Ryan, have you seen Scream?
I've still not seen the Scream movies yet. That's a project I'm going to do this Halloween.
Can you kick him out? Where's the boot button?
Yeah, I know.
Kick him out. Yes! Victory!
I'm sorry, Ryan. I'm sorry.
Every time I get asked this too, I'm going to watch them. I guarantee you this Halloween. It's going to happen.
Okay. All right. That was the last time. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm a child.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I can't answer.
Yes. Scream is my favorite horror film of all time. So that's my pick. I don't remember. Scream is my number one. I don't remember the order of my top 10 favorite horror films of all time. Halloween 78 might be number 2. I'm pretty sure it's in my top 5. So you are asking me like, hey, amongst your favorites, which one is your favorite?
Yeah.
Both of them are some of my favorites. But Scream, that's my era of horror films. I was in high school from 96 to 2000. So the original trilogy came out during my high school time period. Those kind of Kevin Williamson era ones were huge. Those was my era. And like The Faculty from Robert Rodriguez, written by Kevin Williamson, that was shot in Georgetown, which is 10 miles that way. The guy that I work out with, I've been friends with him for 30 years now. There's a close-up shot of his face in the movie. He's in the trailer. And so then I'm just very tied to that era of horror films, and Scream is the best of the bunch.
Does your buddy never let that go? I was in The Faculty.
No, he's not like that at all.
Okay.
That's what's interesting about it, is that like he doesn't do anything like that. And so, he's not like ashamed of it. He's not embarrassed by it or anything, but he's not at all the guy that like, I'll bring it like, hey, he's right here. And it's even funny. Like he's always kind of looked like Robert Patrick, and Robert Patrick is in the movie too. So there's a lot of jokes that come out of it.
That's funny. I love that.
I can't wait for Halloween too. Halloween Kills this year.
Halloween Kills, yeah. I go Halloween 1978 by a hair. I love Halloween, but Scream is great. Ryan, check them out. I guarantee, Ryan, you'll love them. They're a lot of fun movies.
I'm excited to watch them.
Yeah. Thanks to Disney Plus, I can watch No Man Land. Yeah, it's on Disney Plus now. No Man Land. Yeah,
you have Star? Yeah.
Yeah, Star. Yeah. I love that addition to Disney Plus. I can watch like R-rated films and great movies on Star. I love it.
Nice.
Yeah. When they brought Star and I saw these new films, like, awesome! I can watch that. That's great. First thing I watched was Shanghai Noon.
Yeah.
I like that one more than Rush Hour.
Oh yeah, I love Rush Hour and Shanghai.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they're both a ton of fun. I just Owen Wilson and Jackie Chan in a Western.
Yeah.
I just thought that was just such a great combination.
I had the VHS tape of that when I was younger, and I loved it. I was always a Jackie Chan fan, so I loved that movie so much.
My first movie webpage was a Jackie Chan fan page. I like Rumble and Blancs coming over to the colonies. Jet changed my life. They kind of set me on the path to where I'm doing this right now.
Yeah.
In a very weird way that you would never think about it. Like, I had a stupid website in the late 90s, and then 15 years later, 17 years later, whatever, it turned into a career.
Wonder if is any of your subscribers like knew you in the 90s? Like, hey, I used to read that guy's stuff.
No, I mean, it never went anywhere. I mean, it's like it's interesting where you think about it, of like, if I'd stuck with it, if I'd like converted it into a blog and done something starting in the year 2000, that would have I would have been one of the originals that had a movie blog. But instead, I waited, took my time, so that didn't happen. But yeah, there's a lot of weird things that have kind of happened because I have enough success that there's a little bit of overlap with things that there's been some interesting moments.
All right, any hype for Loki, a fantasy James Bond show? I guess you could say that. Yeah, I'm excited for it. It's always Tom Hiddleston, Owen Wilson.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh wow.
I hope he says wow. Like, that'd be awesome. I'm really excited for Loki. I mean, when they announced all these Disney Plus shows back in 2019, I wasn't fully excited, but I was interested in it. Bringing Loki back. I mean, in Endgame, we saw he took the freaking Tesseract. So there's a lot of possibilities for this going multiple seasons from what they've said. And I'm very excited for it. Owen Wilson, Tom Hiddleston, Loki. Like you said, it looks like James Bond mixed with Doctor Who, like everyone says. I'm so looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm
John, is your hype level high?
It's kind of an interesting one because I'm frustrated by the fact that they're bringing back Loki. They killed him off so distinctly in Infinity War and then just wrote a moment into Endgame to set up a TV show. And that bugs me. That feels like they're playing it like Loki. He's someone like, Tom, would you do a TV show? Oh, I'd do a TV show. My character's dead, but sure, I'd love a paycheck. It's a ton of fun. And so I have a lot of frustrations at the basic concept of it, but I like the trailers. And then especially like seeing Owen Wilson bantering with Loki, that's a lot of fun. So the trailers, I'm totally digging it. I've actually already invited friends over for if I get press access to see it over. Like, we've got a watch party already planned for if that happens.
Yeah.
But the basic concept. This is another one of these ones where like I'll like try and put out ideas where I'm like very cynical about something, but it doesn't mean I'm not excited.
Yeah.
It just means I have conflicting feelings like a human.
Yeah, people have different excitement levels. Just because you're not fully excited doesn't mean you're not excited at all. Like, we
have different valves, different emotions.
Yeah.
Like, you can feel two different things about something that one is a positive, one is a negative, but those aren't contradicting each other. They're just different things excite us in different ways. We're complex biological machines.
Exactly. It's the MCU. I mean, anything MCU, I'm gonna watch no matter what.
Yeah. And the fun fact, I watched a video last night of how many times Owen Wilson has said "wow" in movies. It's 102 times.
So many times.
Sean, have you seen the Smurfs movies?
Great question.
I think whatever the one that last came out, I've seen that.
Oh, Smurfs: The Lost Village, I think.
Yeah, something like that. So, I mean, I couldn't say anything about it. But we watched with the kids or something. I don't remember. There's some story there that's not interesting enough to remember, but interesting enough to remember that something happened. But
I mean, that was one of my first videos, my reviews I did. I love the thumbnails I made back in the day. I think one of the ones was like, That was like my reaction. I look like a Smurf in the thumbnail, somebody said.
No. Ryan, your thumbnail never beats my first thumbnail. This video editor. It says video editor.
Your thumbnails are iconic.
And not in a good way. Oh, God. Opinion on Enter the Dragon. Bruce Lee. Love that movie. It's a great movie. I saw this movie way after I saw Bloodsport. I grew up with Bloodsport.
That's the first R-rated movie I ever saw.
Yeah,
Bloodsport.
Yeah, the Kumite. Like I always watched Bloodsport, but then everyone's like, "You want to watch a better tournament movie? Watch Enter the Dragon." I'm like, "Oh, come on!" Then I watched it. I'm like, "Okay, yeah, it's better than a tournament movie." But I grew up with Bloodsport, but I do like Enter the Dragon. What about you, Sean?
I mean, it's a martial arts classic. If you like action movies, if you like martial arts films, you've already seen Enter the Dragon. But if you haven't, by chance, of course you need to watch it. It's just an incredibly important film. And like, if you consider what martial arts films were before that, especially in the United States, they didn't exist. There weren't American martial arts films before that. And then if you even look at like the Hong Kong chapsaki films, it's very compared to it's a dance with like they pause every punch and stuff. And then Bruce Lee kind of invented what we think of as fight choreography. I mean, you watch the old John Wayne Westerns, it's this slow haymaker punch, and he punches the guy out in one punch. And then you see Into the Dragon, and you start to see the combination of Western aesthetics with highly complicated choreography of Hong Kong, and it starts to come together. And it's also very watchable. I mean, it's a movie that's about to turn 50 years old, but has a pretty nice pacing to it, and it's a legend at the top of his game. And the crazy thing is that he died before it even came out. It's wild.
Yeah, it's ironic because it happened to his son as well, Brandon Lee with The Crow, and I'm like, oh my God.
It's especially like if you there's a biography that came out about Bruce Lee a couple years back, and it tries to shed away all of the legend stuff and like who was the real guy and what was he really like. And like he was so desperate to have approval in Hollywood and be a world famous movie star, and he was successful well beyond he ever could have imagined, and all of it happened after he died. That's wild.
Yeah.
And it's such a fascinating story. And I think the true story of Bruce Lee is a lot more interesting than he was the greatest fighter of all time. He could have killed anybody. He could 1-inch punch and he'd send a guy back 10 feet. Like, yeah, I mean, none of that's real, but he was actually a very interesting person that was incredibly talented, and we lost him as soon as he really made it happen.
Yeah.
And his window of fame from his Fists of Fury or Chinese Connection, the titles change, to his death, it was under 2 years. It's just wild.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a long rabbit trail. I find him a fascinating person.
Have you seen Into the Dragon, Ryan?
Oh yeah, I mean, growing up, I did Taekwondo. Growing up,
you can kick my ass then.
I actually got up to a purple belt. So, and then I stopped doing Taekwondo. I used to watch a lot of Bruce Lee. My granddad, of course, loved Bruce Lee. I watched Into the Dragon, just all of Bruce Lee's stuff growing up. Like, Enter the Dragon's a classic, but I haven't seen it in such a long time.
I have a question
about Taekwondo. And inspired me to possibly revisit it.
I have a question.
Watched it like a couple months back, or a few months back. He would have turned 80 last year, so I was thinking about ranking his movies, and it didn't end up happening. But so I watched it, I guess, last fall, and it really holds up. It's like, it is really good. And I know you got a question. I just wanted to throw a plug in. Dragon, the Bruce Lee story. It's like a fictionalized version of his life. They amplify a bunch of stuff, but it's a really enjoyable, like, underdog story. And it's like the score is unbelievable. And they took the score and they used it for trailers all throughout the 90s and zeros. Like, it's in the trailer for Forrest Gump. It's in the trailer for all these movies. And it's like the movie itself kind of forgotten. The score lived on, and it's remarkable.
Yeah,
sorry, I cut you off.
It's all good. Great movie, though. Ryan, Taekwondo. Is there black belts in Taekwondo? Is that how it goes? I don't know how the ranks go in Taekwondo.
Yeah, similar to karate, yeah. It's pretty much a little bit different from karate, but it's all the same. They have all the belts just like karate. So
because I was in karate and I stopped after orange belt, and I never knew the rules.
Speaking of karate, I'm excited for Shang-Chi, man. The fights look incredible in that. I can't wait.
I think it looks good. I think it looks good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find some because I have to. There's a lot here. Try to have some good ones. Has anyone never seen a Star Wars movie?
My brother.
Yeah, Cody hasn't seen Star Wars.
Yeah.
Never seen Harry Potter. It's all good. I just showed my girlfriend Lindsay. She loved the Harry Potter movies.
I'm actually on a Harry Potter marathon right now with my brother. We're gonna watch Half-Blood Prince probably tomorrow. So.
It's a good movie.
Yep.
Oh God, Resurrection or Freddy's Dead?
It's like comparing dog shit to cat shit. I mean, there's really nothing.
They're both
based purely on aesthetics. I think Halloween Resurrection's a little bit more watchable. It's a bad movie, but it's just a little bit newer. Yeah. And so just kind of the pacing and certain things like that just makes it a bit more watchable.
Yeah, for Halloween Resurrection, at least it's got Busta Rhymes saying some really awful lines. Where Freddy's Dead, I'm watching Freddy laugh like the whole time. I don't want to get fully annoyed, so possibly Resurrection.
Yeah, it's I have to compare them now to comedies because these are both just funny movies. I would say Resurrection is a funnier movie, so I'd go Resurrection because I'm laughing my ass off of Busta Rhymes doing like kung fu. I'm like, what's going on here?
We're gonna film this prime time TV special. We're gonna make some fucking money.
Like, how do we get from Michael Myers suffocating a girl in a car to Busta Rhymes going trick or treat, motherfucker? I'm like, what? I'm like,
oh,
how do we get to this?
How do you top that?
Like, I don't know. Oh, I love this question. How are your kids doing, Sean? That's a nice question.
You're assuming it's a nice question. Good question.
I'm assuming it is.
Having 3 kids in the Corona era it's a bit much. You imagine how much energy I have, and there's 3 of me at different phases of life, and we can't go anywhere. There's not a lot of places we can go. So every night they want to build a fort and then play the floor is lava, and they're jumping off of everything, and someone's getting hurt, someone's hurting someone else, people are yelling and screaming all the time. So there's a lot of energy in the Chandler household. Plus we have 2 large dogs that are energetic and want to join in with the jumping off of things. So they're good, but it's a handful of the Chandler household.
Yeah, the
fun kind of that, but whew.
I want to see that sitcom. One of the Chandler house.
You agree? God Bless the USA is an amazing song.
Leaf Greenwood.
Yeah. Okay. I know that song. Yeah, it's a good song. Yeah.
I can say this from experience. If you use even a few seconds of that song in a video, they will claim it.
Claimed.
It is happening.
Yeah.
It's a great song. It's so catchy. Corny as
nobody is allowed to know.
Nobody's
not allowed to make that. Is Canadian bacon just ham?
That's a good question.
That's a very good question, actually.
Is there a difference?
It's not. It's bacon. It's bacon. It's bacon in a way.
Have I had Canadian bacon? I don't know.
It's like sure. Yeah, it's ham.
But I mean, it's like bacon, right?
It's like bacon, but I don't know. It's hard ham. It tastes like ham, though. It's very weird to complete. That's a layered question. There's a lot of layers to that.
It's a very layered question.
I don't know if you want to ever answer this question, Ryan. You don't have to, though. You don't have to answer that question, Ryan. You want to pass? All right, passing.
I've followed all kinds of politics. I just intentionally choose to stay out of
choose not
internet
to
discussion on it. Like in real life, I'll have many conversations with people about many things, but I don't want anything like that documented on the internet. Things are way too crazy right now.
Or else I'll have a mob of people coming after us.
No matter what you say, it'll be taken out of context, and someone's mad at you like, I don't want to play that game. I'm not interested in that.
You pick one side, the other side is subbing to you. So like,
exactly.
And it's just not the context to have complex conversations. The internet's designed to have simplistic conversations and own people, not to talk about stuff that matters, really.
Exactly. My channel is made for movies. That's all I'm going to talk about.
But Ryan, talk about anime. Favorite religious movie. Sean.
Ooh.
I don't know.
I haven't watched a ton of religious movies to have a knowledgeable opinion on it.
Yeah,
I'd go Ben-Hur for me. The original, obviously.
It kind of depends on how you define religious movies. Signs could be considered a very religious movie. It's about a guy finding his faith. So I'll go with Signs. I don't, even though I have a strong Christian religious background, was a pastor for 8 years. Like I don't watch Christian movies because they're heavy-handed, and I don't like any movies that are heavy-handed with their message that are just trying to preach at you. So.
Yeah, there's like the Christian movies, then there's movies just with religion in it. Like it's just
I mean, Silence most recently, Martin Scorsese.
That's a religious movie.
That was actually a really good movie.
Yeah, I consider that a religious movie. It's about priests. Like, for me, I like Aliens more than Alien. That's like everyone's different on that. Alien and Aliens. It's like Godfather 1, Godfather 2, Terminator 2. It's like
Infinity War, Endgame.
And Ryan, it's a conversation in Scream 2. They debate this exact question.
Nice.
Yes. And people say the same thing about Scream and Scream 1, Scream 2. So people like Scream 2 more than Scream 1. And like, there's no right or wrong answer.
I hear the same thing for Insidious. Some people like 2 more than 1. So it's all subjective.
All right. Hold on a sec. I'm trying to find a good one here. Sorry, guys.
No worries.
All right. Would you rather have one of your hands super glued to one of your feet?
Oh.
Or both your hands super glued together? Or
I'd rather do this.
If I did this, I wouldn't be able to edit.
Yeah, actually.
How am I editing like this?
If your hand is super glued to your foot, you'd be uncomfortable. You couldn't walk.
Yeah.
You couldn't get anywhere. So to like roll on the floor, like a bird in the wind.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, "Hey guys, welcome to my video."
Hey guys, welcome to my video.
I think everyone just think you're praying all the time. Then I don't know.
I look like a
hard to choose. Hard to choose. Does America have the best TV shows in your opinion?
A lot of conversations about America in your Q&A.
Yeah. It's like the head.
I don't know. I did not ask for this. I guess, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just such a.
There's one thing I gotta say: Breaking Bad is an American show, so I'm going yes.
I just think so much of the entertainment industry is centered here, so it just has so much output with so much money behind it that it yeah.
I mean,
yes. Yes. Do you have a Patreon? Yeah, in a way, kinda, yeah. Sean does. Ryan does.
Sean does. I used to.
I think this is a little easy, but Zootopia.
Zootopia, but both of those movies actually play in my house a lot. Both of those are pretty regularly on display because kids love animals and they love singing.
Yeah.
Zootopia, easily.
Do you love Paul Newman as Doc Hudson?
He's probably my favorite Cars character.
I'll fully admit I had to think about who Doc Hudson was. So.
I was searching. I was like, Doc Hudson, what's that one?
Then Ryan's like, Cars with Cars. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I was like, oh, okay, all right, sure. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is interesting. Is Canadian food bad? No.
I've never tried it. I want to try some of your Canadian food, Jay.
I want
Okay.
to try the bacon in particular.
Yeah.
We call it ham, but
Tim Hortons? That looks good.
Tim Hortons, yeah. Tim Hortons is a big thing in Canada. I know there is some Tim Hortons in the United States, but it is a Canadian thing.
It's like it's for Canadians.
Yeah, it's Dunkin' Donuts.
What qualifies as Canadian food? Like, what's a distinct Canadian food besides maple syrup and Canadian bacon?
Yeah. A poutine. A poutine is Canadian.
Yeah.
Do you guys know?
I mean, I've heard the word. I've heard this said, but what is it?
A poutine is fries, gravy with cheese in it.
Sure.
That sounds good.
Doesn't sound healthy. Sounds good though.
Yeah. You can get a poutine in any restaurant in Canada. At a McDonald's, we have poutines. And at Tim Hortons, there's a poutine. New York, we have New York fries here. Anywhere you can go, any restaurant, you can go to any diner in Canada, you can get a poutine.
Is it like you have French word?
Yeah, it's a French word. I don't know.
It sounds so fancy. I'm like, oh, poutine. Yeah. Like what's this high delicious meal? And you're like, yeah, it's like French fries with gravy poured on top. I was like, oh, that was not what I was thinking poutine was going to be with a word like that, name like that.
Yeah, it's just fries, gravy, and cheese. That's really
you have a lot of fast food restaurants that serve the same food we do, but they're different places. Like Swiss Chalet, I've never even heard of that. But
yeah, Swiss Chalet. Yeah, we have
Swiss Chalet.
Swiss Chalet.
I like the names you pronounce, like Swiss Chalet. That sounds cool.
Oh yeah, there's a kindergarten song we had in my kindergarten class, and it was naming all the takeout places. It was like Kentucky Fried Chicken and a Pizza Hut, Swiss Chalet. Yeah. Not enough about my childhood.
We had the wheels on the bus go round and round. That's
what we had.
I'm so foreign, I know.
Old McDonald had. Oh my god.
Oh, I got a Patreon. Thanks, Daniel. Opinions on Men in Black 1 through 3, not counting international. I like the first Men in Black. Second one's and third one's not bad. First one's really good though. What do you guys think?
I have the same opinions. Yeah.
Yeah. The first one, like I was in high school when that came out, and I mean Will Smith in the '90s. We don't really even have movie stars like Will Smith in the 90s. I mean, everybody wanted the glasses. Everybody knew every word to the Men in Black song. And Tommy Lee Jones, of all people, was like this A-list actor that everybody loved and was showing up and stuff all the time. The second one, I don't think it's good at all. I don't think it's a really underwhelming film. Third one is mostly pretty good. I don't like the big twist ending though. The ending was like they were trying to go for this big hook at the end, like ha. And I don't think it made any sense with the franchise.
It didn't make any sense. Like J knew K already. I'm like, wait,
what?
What? You didn't set this up at all. It doesn't. There's nothing that would make this fit.
Yeah, it's like a twist just to have a twist in it. Just like doesn't have to make sense, but you didn't see it coming.
Your heartstrings and like a father figure. Like, are you crying yet? Like, no, because I'm trying to think through the logic of how this makes any sense.
Yeah, I was just checking to see. Okay, I did review these movies. I mean, the first one's a classic, like you guys said. The second one's one of the worst sequels I've seen. The third one was good until the end, and I totally agree. And International was rough one.
Yeah, International is not good. I love this question. I don't know why. How often do you guys poop?
That's a great question.
Well, so it's well known that when you have kids, the only time that you can get away from the loud noise is when you're in the bathroom. So I try and do everything in my power to get to do that as often as possible to get away from the chaos of the rest of the house.
Exactly. Yeah.
I also eat a lot of food, so that has consequences.
Yeah. Takeout food, that's like twice, 3 times a day. I don't know.
Exactly. Consequences do happen with that.
Who's directing? I think I'm directing. Yeah, I'm directing this.
Jay's definitely directing this live stream.
I'm directing it. That's why it's going so horribly.
Yeah.
Which movie is the most conforming? Conforming. I thought he was going to say confusing, but he said conforming.
Conforming. I've never been asked that question.
I don't understand the question.
Whatever word he did mean to write for the C word, I'm going to go with blood sport. I think we can all agree it's the most conforming, most comforting, and the most confusing.
If he went with confusing, I saw this movie called Upstream Color, and it really confused me. And then I had to research what it was about, and I'm like, oh, okay. That didn't make sense. But
okay, if you saw Mulholland Drive in the theater, no context of who David Lynch was going into it, knew nothing about the movie. And have you guys seen it?
Yes, it's a very odd movie.
Yeah.
So you're watching it, and the first 90 minutes is pretty linear, but like scattered plot lines. You're like, okay. And then it just goes off into dream world out of nowhere. And you're like, what am I watching? What just happened?
You're just like, whoa, someone slips something in my drink.
I'm so confused right now.
What about you, Ryan? Is there a movie that confuses you, Ryan, a lot?
Definitely at the time was Enemy, but now I understand the movie now. As of recently, what really challenged me? I mean, that takes research. I'll have to look up some movies. I'm like, it fully confused, but definitely at the time, Enemy. But as the time has come, I've understood the movie a lot more. More Tenet, I guess you could say.
Yeah, Tenet was a little confusing.
A lot of parts still I'm confused by, so I guess I'll go Tenet.
Yeah,
but I still enjoy it.
Favorite directorial debut?
I'm gonna still say Dan Gilroy for Nightcrawler. That's still my favorite directorial debut.
Sean?
I don't know offhand. I'd have to factor. You're trying to cross-reference two different types of lists that I haven't thought about it in that regard. So it's like, okay, what is a movie I love that was their first movie?
Yeah, it's hard because again, if I pick an answer, I'll find a better answer in an hour or so.
That's what I get all the time where I say something and then immediate people are like, well, what about this? I'm like,
what about this director?
Well, I was like, I'm just trying to I've been talking for an hour straight and just trying to think something up real quick.
Oh, Jordan Peele for Get Out. That's another really good one.
That's a good one.
Human Centipede, Tom Six's debut. That's a good one, right?
I actually like Kevin Smith's Clerks. I like that director. I don't know if that's my favorite, but I like it. I like Tim Burton, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I like that too. There's a few. I don't know what my favorite is yet. I'll do it.
Soldier, those Russo brothers.
Have you guys seen the Scream TV show on Netflix? I watched the first episode and didn't like it. Never watched it again.
Yeah,
Sean, did you watch
an episode or two, and it was just a little bit too modern high school and not enough self-referential. And the nature of Scream, it was such a commentary on the previous 15 years of slasher films that even with this new movie coming out, I don't even know how the formula works, so detached from the context under which the original came out. And so the TV show is just kind of missing all of that. All of what I kind of elevated the franchise for me.
I should ask you, Sean, are you excited for a new Scream movie?
I mean, I'm excited in the sense that I'm curious. I'm inherently very skeptical for the reason I just gave, that Scream was such a meta commentary on the genre where it was at the time the movie came out, that even when Scream 4 came out, the genre had shifted so much that it was like, what are you commenting on? This is another Scream movie, but part of Scream was the meta commentary. And so I just don't know what that's going to look like. I don't mind that Wes Craven obviously not returning since he can't. And the people they got, the Ready or Not people, seem like a good choice to do it. So there's nothing that has me distinctly cynical or nervous besides the basic premise of Scream feeling like such a perfect concept for the late 90s, not so much for 2022.
Yeah. Do you think they can make a good Scream without Wes Craven?
Yeah, I mean, if they put their effort into it, I guess it could work.
Yeah.
I think the inherent nature of it is because it was so Kevin Williamson was so much at the heart of that nature of the self-referential, and then you had a great director who had the credibility to balance those two things. So it wasn't mocking the genre, but it also wasn't. Um, it just kind of balanced it because of who he was. So you just have to get someone that can like love this type of movie and understand what makes them hilarious at the same time.
Yeah. All right, a couple more questions, and then we'll wrap it up. Is anyone excited for the new Space Jam movie? I'm not, but is anyone else?
Yeah, I mean, I felt just like this guy's comment, excited for Space Jam: A New Legacy ripoff. Yeah, I felt a lot of Ready Player One in that recent trailer, but I'm excited. I'm interested. I mean, I liked the original when I was a kid. LeBron, I like him as a player, basketball player, but I mean, the trailer seemed like they were going for about what we saw in the Ready Player One movie, a lot of Warner Brothers properties. I'm hoping that's not the case for the movie. We could focus on the Space Jam, but it's just a trailer, so I'm interested in it.
You excited, Sean?
I was a little bit too old for Space Jam when it came out. I don't think I saw it in the theater. I was aware of it, source code the trailers, and I've seen the movie at some point in time over the years. So it's not one that like I grew up with and have nostalgia for. So I view it more as like that looks like that's a lot of fun to watch with my kids. That's where I kind of come from it, from that perspective of like I'll have fun watching that one with my kids.
Yeah,
and then actually we watched the trailer and then recommended underneath it was 3C's video breaking down all the Easter eggs, and so then we watched his video and we're like, hey, I actually know this guy.
Yeah,
and so that's kind of where I perceive of it from, kind of that the fun of the experience of it as a family.
Oh, and you missed a lot. Thoughts on Hard Target? That's the Val Kilmer movie.
American
no
debut.
Sorry, that I'm thinking about the other comedy movie. I've never seen it.
Me neither.
What?
I can't believe it. It's finally a movie I haven't seen someone mention.
Yeah, it's really.
That's rare, Jay. I think you've seen every movie.
I know.
Basically, it's an adaptation of the Most Dangerous Game set in New Orleans, and with John Woo directing Van Damme at the peak of Van Damme's stardom. And you've got Lance Hendrickson as the guy that's leading the hunt, and so he's just having a lot of fun as this villain that's basically kidnapping homeless veterans to have rich people hunt them. And his enforcer is the guy that played Arnold Vosloo, who played the Mummy in the Mummy movies.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely a 90s product, but with like John Woo flair and pizzazz to it. So it's one of Van Damme's best and like a real solid 90s action movie. I watch it every year.
What fucking movie was I talking about? Val Kilmer movie. What am I talking about? No, it's a spoof movie he did as a
Top Secret.
Top Secret. Well, that's what I was thinking of. I'm like, well, I don't know why I was thinking of that. That's got nothing to do with Hard Target. It's not even close. I don't know why I was thinking that. Favorite Canadian movie? Oh, okay.
Okay.
Technically, Eastern Promises is a Canadian movie, so I will go Eastern Promises.
Canadian Bacon.
That'd be a good movie.
What am I blanking on his name now?
Michael Moore.
Yeah, Michael Moore. There we go. Just because I just have to say Canadian Bacon one more time in this live stream. I'd have to think about like which ones are Canadian films. Like a lot of times you don't start a movie and it says like brought to you by Canada and then the flag appears so I don't default to knowing what is a Canadian film versus a Hollywood film.
Yeah.
So I honestly don't know.
Ryan, did you Google it?
Yeah, I was Googling some. I guess I'll go Deadpool.
That was filmed in Toronto in some spots. There's a couple of scenes in Deadpool. Like, hey, I've been there.
Shazam too. Yeah.
Favorite baseball movie. Favorite baseball movie. Bull Durham is my favorite. Sean,
League of Their Own.
Major League, League of Their Own. Yeah, all great
No,
movies.
sorry, The Sandlot. That's one of my favorite movies.
Sandlot. Okay, that's a good one too. That's a good too. All right, I'm gonna pick 3 more random ones. Well, not really random ones, but Sean, can you rank the Texas Chainsaw movies?
No, because I haven't seen any of them. So I was planning on ranking them last October. That was my plan. Every October I try and do a big franchise I've never done before, and so that's one of the ones that I just haven't seen any of them. So I was going to do that, and then with COVID and everything, I ended up changing up my plan, and so I did like a 31 on 31 with my buddies, and so I pushed that idea back, and then they announced that they're doing another one. And so it's very much on my mind as something I'm planning on doing. I actually had a guy in my fan mail. He has sent me all of them. Like I own every single Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, the whole set. Actually, they're over there. They're not on my shelf yet. But I own all of them, and I've seen 0 of them.
Now I get all these horror franchises people tell me to rank. So
yeah. I like the first one, and I like the Jessica Biel one. Those are my 2 favorites. Those are.
And they were actually, the other thing is they were shot around here, Texas, obviously Central Texas, and so I've actually been to several shooting locations that I used to deliver. There's a cemetery in the first movie, and it's Baghdad Cemetery. I used to deliver paint all the time when I delivered paint when I was starting out my channel. And I would just stop by. I was like, that's the shot from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And like, there's a location where a house used to be that's like right where a shopping center is now. It used to be the middle of nowhere. And then they've just built, Austin has expanded so much that they like basically built everything around it. And so there's like a grassy field that used to be this obscure place where Texans would get massacred by chainsaws. But now it's like, a block away from a shopping center.
Is Texas that scary? Every time I watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I'm like, oh, Texas looks horrifying. It's a scary place.
Yes. It, like, not at all. Like, when I drive through deep South Alabama and small towns, like, that freaks me out way more than anything in Texas. Texas is a lot friendlier than that. It's just, they're nice, friendly people. And, yeah, I've never watched anyone get chainsaw massacred yet.
Yeah,
I
have, but that.
Yeah, I might have seen something.
Do you watch Doug Walker's videos? I used to, but I stopped being kind of a fan of the nostalgia critic. I don't know, just he got more less reviewy and more skits, and I don't like that.
Yeah, I'm the same. I mean, I never really watched him unless he did a collab with someone I did watch, like a Stuckman. Then I only watched Stuckman, Johns, the Schmoes, and the Flick Pick. Those were the 4 I watched consistently when I was watching reviewers at the time.
I like when people just review stuff. I don't need like people putting skits on. That's cool and all, but that's just not my thing. I just like people talk. I like people talking. That's interesting.
I only watch Sean Chandler, Jay Vaders, Austin Burke, and my friends. That's pretty much what I watch the most.
Yeah, I've never seen any of Doug Walker's stuff. I just wasn't one that I'd seen, and then people were like, oh, you should check this guy out, and it just wasn't for me. There's an energy to it and kind of a perspective of how he's evaluating stuff that just doesn't. That's not what I'm looking for from channels. So not throwing any hate or anything like that. I haven't seen enough to be able to have any thorough opinion, but my it just wasn't for me.
Yeah. Yes, Scott Pilgrim was filmed in Toronto.
Oh.
And appreciate Sean with the Canadian bacon. Yeah. All right. I'll just last one. Sure. Do you watch John Flickinger's latest stream? I don't know what happened.
Funny thing is, I went on one of FlickPick's live streams and I commented, "Do you watch Sean Chandler Talks About?" And he said, "Yes, I do."
Sean got to meet him, didn't you?
Yeah, it's weird because via that comment, like now I'm friends with John Flickinger. We DM each other almost every single week, and his birthday was a few days ago, so we said, "Hey, happy birthday, man!" And especially in the COVID era, how you get it early screenings was reset, and so then I would like post an early review of something. He'd be like, "Hey man, how'd you get access for this?" And I'm like giving him emails, and I'm like,
I get that too. Yeah,
I'm saying, or some of you guys get access to something. I'm like, "Hey, where did you get access?"
Yeah,
and then he's asking me where I got access. It's
I now get access to Disney Plus screeners, and I get people asking me, "Hey, how did you get Ryan the Last Dragon?" I'm like, here.
It's weird because like when you watch someone for so many years, then you actually get to meet them, and you're like, "Oh, cool! Oh, wait, they're just normal people. They're just."
I think I just want to throw this out there. So I've had enough success that I've been lucky enough to get to meet a number of these people, or message them, or interact with them, and everyone I've interacted with, Jeremy Johns, Chris Stuckman, Flickinger, Christian Harloff. All of them have been very friendly, very helpful. I haven't run into anyone that's been a jerk, snooty, anything that's like the stuff you get afraid of. I haven't experienced any of that. That's actually very encouraging to me. It was like, oh, everyone's actually really nice. They've been very friendly, helpful. That's really cool.
Yeah, I feel like people. There's a lot more good than bad people. I know, like some people like to think like, oh, like if someone has a lot of subscribers or has a lot of fans, they have an ego to them, or they're too good for someone. Like, oh, I'm not talking to you. I have 2 million subscribers. You have 1,000. I'm much better than you.
Like, no, when I first started, when I first started out, Sean was the first YouTuber I contacted with, and we just met each other. We talked to each other through the comment section. Then I met Jay Vaders. Like, these are the first two I met on this platform. Like, we're all very nice people. We're all very approachable. You don't have to be scared to like message. Like, we're all nice people. Yeah,
I haven't run into like rivalry stuff. I mean, not that nothing's happened, but I haven't run into any of the toxicity amongst the creators. Everything that's been very friendly. Like out of the blue, I just a little over about a year ago messaged Jeremy Johns for the first time ever, and see maybe be interested by my podcast, and it was just had like a real friendly conversation, and he wasn't interested, but he was like entirely polite and was still like interacting back with. And every time since then I've messaged him, he's responded back with friendly, helpful information. And I've never met him. But he was just like, yeah, of course, yeah, I've seen some of your videos here and there. It's a pretty small community, so we just do my best to be helpful. So, that's every experience that I've had.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, if any of my subscribers are even wondering, like, how I first got introduced to Sean is Sean watched one of my videos before I watched one of his. He watched, I think, like it was a Star Trek ranking I did a long time ago. And then Sean's like, oh, I want to check out my ranking. I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I just watched Sean grow so much, and I was actually proud of Sean, because I'm like, a small person, a small YouTuber can go that big, and like it can happen to anybody. And yeah, it's great to watch that.
And I commented on Sean's Ghostbusters video, his first video where he started to grow like that. It's very weird, but also great.
When Sean grows, it feels like we all grow.
We all grow.
It's pretty wild, like the number of you guys that like that first 6 months that I tried to meet as many people as I could, and here we are still talking. Actually, while we're doing this, Cody Leach has been messaging me over on Facebook, and all those early people, still friends with all of them, and collaborating and interacting and stuff. And that's what my experience has been, like a real friendly community of people that we like talking movies, and so we got on YouTube, and it's been a healthy thing. Because people wonder, like, is there backstabbing? Like, I just haven't experienced any of that, or any sort of the toxic stuff.
Yeah.
Did you hear about Zach and Austin Berg? No, I'm kidding.
People just love drama. They just love drama, spewing drama now these days. And there's none of that.
Did you hear Ryan hates Jay? Like, it's not even a real friendship. He's under contract.
Did I mention that I like Cody more than the Tool Brothers? Oh no! Did you hear that? The mics.
Oh no!
Oh
no! My cover is blown. But
actually, it's like a comment like I saw in the comments. Samuel asked, like, do you watch Ryan George? It's another person. I emailed him about trying to interview him, and we interacted back and forth. We weren't able to work it out, but super friendly. He's like, yeah, I've actually watched some of your videos while trying to research a pitch meeting. And so, what? And that my wife loves the ones on his main channel, and we'll tweet at him and stuff like, "Hey, great video," and he'll respond back. And everyone I've interacted with has been like that. That's the community that I've experienced.
Yeah, we're all great people. We're all just trying to, make friends and talk what we love and what inspires us and what we feel passionate about talking about. And yeah, it's great. And I'm going to wrap this up, and I want to thank you two amazing gentlemen being on here. Ryan, always great having you. Best pal on YouTube. And Sean, thank you. And shout out your channel, of course. They all probably know who you are, but shout it out anyways.
Yeah, it's on Sean Chandler Talks About. If you look up Sean Chandler on the YouTube, you either find an NFL player or a guy that looks like me and is talking about movies. It's the guy that looks like me that's talking about movies.
Ryan, you know what to do.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, the same thing. If you type Ryan O'Toole on YouTube, you'll either find a female golfer or Ryan O'Toole, a guy who talks about movies. Yeah, I do the same things these guys do. Review movies, rank movies like Sean Chandler, and I talk a lot about Marvel. Same thing these guys do.
Ryan, I'm waiting for the day for that comment. Be like, hey, wait a minute, you're not that golfer. What is this?
What is that? That's not true. But yeah, I will be going live tonight, like I said, for the Oscars. I'll be doing the whole ceremony, watching it. So anybody in the stream want to watch, I'll be there.
All right, let's watch Nomadland win Best Picture. So yeah, thank you guys for joining in. If I didn't get to all your questions, I apologize, but leave them in the comments below and I'll answer them. Thank you guys for joining, and what are they going to do, Ryan?
Join the light side. No, join the dark
side. You blew it. You blew it. Why? I can't let you do any of this anymore.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Bye-bye.